I'd say about 14 or 15 when I didn't get picked for the hurling team anymore. I had to give rugby a proper go. So, yeah, junior cert year, is it? In and around then. Didn't get the nod for the. I think it was the Patrick Soil minor, so had to go with the rugby. New Zealand in Chicago was right up there, but I think the Magnus League final, my first kind of year on the scene with Munster in 2011, when we played Leinster in Thomond Park, full stadium, first time really kind of experiencing something like that as a player, and no better way than beating Leinster in the final. So that's probably the standout one. So hopefully get to experience that again. Yes
no.
And no. Yes, no, really. I hope he hears this. No, overall, no. But he did bring a lot of crack to the dressing room. You do miss that. You do miss his laughing and joking and his dancing around the place. But I don't miss his messy corner. He had the messiest locker I've ever seen, which is no surprise. But a small bit, but overall, no. You can say me if you want to.
Yeah.
Don't be
Holland
embarrassed that I'm here.
When I was around 6, I remember Holland coming into my primary school to sign autographs. So I didn't know how old Holland is. But no, I suppose I was always.
I gave him free tickets as well, I'm sure.
You did? You and Archie?
Must have been rare.
The only reason that happened is because Archie was trying to get his kids into that school.
I suppose I was always a backdrop, so David Wallace was always the main man for me. He I just loved watching him play. He was a very exciting player, and he's always someone I wanted to try play like, and I suppose still do. I just suppose like whatever school or club you're in, there's obviously a lot of older lads like around Holland's age that have been around the game for a long time.
That's
so
two digs at your age, Holland. I hope you're
they obviously they have a lot of lads who know what they're talking about. So I suppose you just have to be like a sponge and just take in what you can from those type of fellas. And so it's same for all athletes and even us now. Like just the self-confidence aspect of it, we all go through our highs and lows, so just try never lose that self-confidence in yourself anyway. Well, why? I didn't really have a choice. My dad brought me out at around 5 or 6 and threw a well jersey on me, and I suppose it just went from there. I played there all the way up until I went to school. So I suppose I just fell in love with it anyway from the minute I played. It was always soccer at the start, but the minute I started rugby, it was number one.
Probably one of the most special games I played in Thomond Park was when we played the All Blacks back in 2008. It was I probably didn't realise it at the time, but it's a game that I look back on with massive pride now. What the team that went out that day did against an All Black team, but a more recent game, which was very bittersweet, but something that I know Mark played in as well, and that we're all extremely proud of, is the Axel game against Glasgow and Thomond Park. You're playing in the most surreal of circumstances, and to perform the way we did with the emotion and Earlsey getting sent off and all that, and just the spirit of Munster that day was like nothing I've ever felt before, and it's something that take great pride in what we did as a club that day.
Yes, I suppose it was actually the game Holland was on about earlier was the All Blacks game. I remember going. It was actually my 13th birthday. I went to it for. So
he has lined this up.
I'm really beginning to feel very old after this call.
It's not a dig, but yeah,
it's an absolute dig.
Yeah, it's that. So I went to my 13th birthday, and I just remember the ball being brought down from the helicopter and stuff. And it was. I've never experienced a Munster game like it yet. Like, and no, it was just such an incredible occasion. Like it's a real standout one, right, for me.
Well, my new baby's sound asleep anyway, thankfully.
Very good.
Matthew's great. He's 5 months old, and he's nearly taller than me already. But captaining Munster is something I'm very lucky to have done, and it's something that I'm very proud of. It's actually probably one of the easiest jobs going, because you've got such good leaders within the club anyway, and but running out with various different kids from the supporters club and kneeling for the photograph at the start, I'm very proud of it. Something that I always wanted to do when I was a kid. So it's, I take great pride in it. Well, Tom, Tom, you can mind your own business.
He could be fired if you find out the truth.
Tom, I was 6'6", but when you go through all the scrums that I've gone through, you get an inch or two shorter each year. So
stress.
Yeah, tell him I'll meet his father someday and we can measure up.
But one of the best feelings ever. Like Billy and Jack there, I grew up going to the Munster games, going into Thomond early, trying to get a standing spot by the tunnel to see the players warming up or coming out of the dressing room. And as a kid, you kind of dream of it and never realize that. I never really think that it could happen. And then when you get to do it live and go into a game, it's it's one of the coolest feelings you can get.
To be honest, any home European game on a Saturday night in Thomond Park is incredibly special. Like, they're all European games, all the home games are like, there's always a great atmosphere, but you can't an English team coming to Thomond Park on a Saturday night in December is spine tingling in terms of the adrenaline and the excitement and how we all play above ourselves that day, and it's a great experience.
I love cooking at home, so I got a lot of time to try out some meals and barbecue a lot. So I got a bit of time to do that, which was fun. And then the worst thing, I had a crack in the dressing room, missed it. It really kind of hit home how much you take it for granted going in every day, and you're doing something you love, but you're having unbelievable fun with the lads doing it. So that to be just taken away and not have your girlfriend here who was a bit of crack, but not as much as a big group of lads in a dressing room. You miss that. So getting back in with the lads has been brilliant. Just simple slagging of each other and stupid little things, but they kind of help get through the day.
I suppose lockdown, I live on a farm, so it wasn't as bad for some people who were living in parks and cities and stuff. So just to clarify, I was trying to copy people around the garden and do a bit of farming and stuff.
Jack lives on a posh farm. It's not a real farm. He's got a few horses and ponies that he rides around on. That's about it.
Just it's a stud.
That kept me busy. And not the worst thing then, I suppose, was just like Conor was saying, like, just the crack with the lads. Like, I live in a house with lads up in Limerick, and it's just the jokes and slagging and stuff like that. You really miss, like, that. Really, really put a smile on your face. Like, I was with my family a lot, and they're not the same. They don't get the same banter.
It was very good timing from our point of view. So I got to spend 4 months at home with Matthew and my wife Lanley, and going for walks and trying to cook and just enjoying the first 4 months of Matthew's life, and it was really good. It was a very simple life and thoroughly enjoyable. And I suppose I missed being involved with Munster and being around the lads and playing matches, and it's I'm not getting any younger, so trying to miss out.
See what you made him say, Jack. See what you made him do.
Missed out on a busy 3 or 4 months there, but look, we made the most of it at home as a family. Absolutely.
I've been fairly lucky in terms of injuries, but I did get an injury to my neck in 2017 in the Six Nations game against Wales, and spent a little bit of time in the rehab room with the physios, and it was a bit of a struggle to get back to fitness, and it lingered on a little bit longer than we had hoped for. So my neck is the injury, and then just it kind of made you realize how special it is to be playing and be fit. And sometimes when you get in a bit of a run, you don't really realize how lucky you are. So for me, it was a massive eye opener to, when I get back fit, to really appreciate playing every game. So it was a bad thing to happen, but also a bit of a positive thing as well.
So I suppose I had one serious one. Right, I did my cruise shift, so on my left knee just before my under-20 World Cup. So that really hit harder, right? And I was rehabbing, and that surgery was rehabbing all summer, like, so that put me out for the bones of 9 months. But there's unfortunately there's a lot of lads in Munster who have done their knees, so I was able to talk to a lot of those lads, and they're really helpful. And so I'd like to think I was in a lot better position coming back from the injury than I was before it anyway, and I felt I was in a good place after it.
No, look, I've been very lucky, touch wood, with major injuries, lots of knocks and niggles, but I suppose the one that's kept me out for the longest was I broke my ankle 2015 or 16. I was out for I think about 5 months, so that was my longest. But injury, I've been lucky in that regard, and it's a tough place for guys to be. It ends some fellas' careers. It's very frustrating for other fellas. And it makes, you see guys who often come back from injury and they're a lot mentally stronger and fresher, and a newfound love of the game.
I think getting the game out there into girls' schools a lot more, but I think women's rugby is really strong in Ireland. I think it's just about people knowing that and knowing the success the women's teams have had over the years. I know when we've had some away Six Nations games, my mom and sisters would go over a day early and travel to whatever parts of, say, Scotland or Wales and go to the women's games. So there's definitely a bit of a following. I think if they could just get a little bit more awareness of how strong it is and how popular and successful they have been over the last 5 or 6 years, then I'm sure you get an awful lot more numbers taking it up.
Yeah, I think certainly it has to start at the schools level, and getting girls involved at an earlier age, and just getting lots of rugby balls out there into girls' schools and encouraging them, getting coaches in there, and just providing the opportunity and the platform for them to do it and making it fun, because that's ultimately why kids should play any sport, whether it be rugby or anything, when they're younger, is to enjoy themselves and have a bit of fun and get fit.
I don't know. A chef, if I was talented in the kitchen, I'm not. I just enjoy doing it. But I was doing business and risk management in college, so maybe something along those lines. I had done construction management my first year in college, and that didn't take off either. So yeah, you never know. Thankfully, I went down the path I went down, and it's a question and decision I dread after rugby, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing for the time being.
Well, I suppose I'm going into my fourth year now, finance, and so it's something I'm interested in, and something I'm all right at, thanks to Lanley's notes that have been passed down from Rory Scannell to me. So she has knowledge still, but no, yeah, it's something I'm interested in. So I'll probably look into stuff after college, but yeah, so probably a boring accountant or something like that in the finance world. It's not very exciting, but
I don't know. I did engineering in college, so I probably would have continued down that route. So that's something I will be looking into in the distant future. So probably heading down that route while we're on that theme for the call.
It'd have to be Earlsey. I know a very argumentative small man, Andrew Conway, would probably have something to say about that. So we'd have to have a race between Earlsey and Conway. I'm sure there's a few other lads that are quite close, but I'd say one of the two of them.
Right. Anyway, Liam Coombs put his foot forward. As he's recently known as the fastest right angle in Munster Rugby, so I'd have to go with him.
Because he's the oldest out of everyone mentioned so far, I'll go with Earlsey. I reckon out of pure stubbornness as well, he'd win in a race, all right, somehow.